The big day has finally arrived. Right here, right now, is where Season 2 kicks off. Welcome y'all to Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida, where we are set to begin this grand opening to Season 2 in this 250-mile event. It's a clear, gorgeous day for racing. I definitely couldn't be more stoked to present this race to all of you. The grandstands are full of eager and excited fans, and it's been a fun weekend so far, from pole day to the qualifying duels, and now right here for race day. We definitely hope you all enjoy the ride, and I do hope this show will be well worth watching for you. So let's waste no more time. Let's crank up the engines to begin another season here for the Speed Racing Series.
Drivers, start your engines.
There you go. Engines have been started, and we're about to party hard and race hard here from the World Center of Racing. There go the cars off the pit road. We will have the green flag and one more pace lap. Let's check out your starting lineup for this opening round of a new season. "42 drivers, representing more than 20 U.S. states and 5 countries, have come to compete here today in the series' biggest race, the Daytona 250. It is a diverse and stacked field here for this second season of SRS competition. Going through the field once more, props to all of the painters who have designed all these beautiful-looking race cars that are eager to go fast on the track. But everything we've done here for the past couple of weeks, it's all reached the boiling point right here. Down on the pit road goes the Chevy Camaro pace car. Grab an ice cold beverage and whatever your heart desires to eat, and just feast your eyes on the race you're about to see. Zachary Bilson and Lucas Gaetano bring them across the line, and Season 2 is green here from Daytona. Just like we saw in both the duels, the pole sitter does not get to lead the first lap. The 84 car of Major Robinson will have those honors, the Duel 1 winner. He holds off multiple rows of 3x3, all behind that Advent Health Ford Fusion. For Sanders Performance Auto Racing, Nick Pericles, he's the first one to challenge him in that 31, another fellow rookie. Here's Robinson's teammate, your winner from last season, Lane Sanders, but he's going to just follow Pericles underneath Robinson. Pericles goes down low in turn 3. Looking to make it 2 straight laps led in a row by 2 Rookie of the Year contenders. There's 21 of them in total. Pericles in the AutoZone machine for Rambler Racing. He leads lap 2, but here comes Lane Sanders, looking to end the day the same way that he ended it last season in victory lane on top. Sanders challenges for the lead on Pericles. Diego Yepes in the 77 Dodge ducks for pit road at the end of lap 1. He's being ordered by the SRS official to serve a stop-and-go penalty due to his incident in the second duel in which he took out Kyle Collins after re-entering the racetrack in an unsafe manner. But the SRS officials is allowing Yepes to race today. He's got to serve this penalty here, along with a several race probation. Don't know if there's going to be a fine involved yet or not, but Yepes definitely not going to be a winning contender this afternoon. The field driving by Yepes, who's coming out of pit road. But Sanders, Pericles, Robinson, and Freeze, and also Luke Martin too in that 54, they look to make it a festival of Fords at the front. Pericles still hanging tough on that outside line. The Florida native, he'd definitely like to get a win here today if he'd want to win anywhere else. Pericles getting the push from Major Robinson, and he will get the edge to lead another lap. Scott Roush, another Ford for Rambler Racing. He's on the bottom right here, putting Noah Hart and Charles Sanford 3 wide. You got a few Chevys in the mix too, of Ryan Dagby, Joseph Strigley, and Brandon Mayhew for Joseph Strigley Racing. And Mayhew's going to help the 21 of Vince Freeze. Freeze, in just his second career start, he got a top 10 on debut at Atlanta, and he wants to keep that strength rolling on. But he will follow his teammate Pericles through. And it looks like Pericles will still keep control. Here's some drivers that are starting to drift back from the lead pack a little. You got Jesse Turner and Kyle Collins running side by side, battling for the 31st position. The 34 of Staber Fox, the 75 of Brian Grigsby. Again, many of these cars back here were go-or-go homers in pole day qualifying and in the duels. You got Justin Henley from Minnesota, Roberto Crown Jr. in the 23, Cam Cole, Jade Eves, Lee Smith in the 04. But even behind all of those guys is Nathan Norman, who's really lost touch. Not good news at all for the Californian. And here's Gatlin Downey, who's already locked into the show, but that Harmon Benning Peterson car running all by himself. Nick Pericles has some new contenders willing to steal the lead from him. Here's Zachary DeLello in the 15 Dr. Pepper car for Pole Position Racing, the Chicagoland winner from Season 1. Christian Vargas in the Circuit City car, he's also up here. And there goes DeLello. He's attempting to pass Pericles for the lead. Pericles took the lead at lap 2 after Major Robinson led the first lap. And now Zachary DeLello, he's got enough strength in order to lead this one. Being pushed by Lane Sanders and Brandon Mayhew. Yes, DeLello, he's going to get to taste the lead for the first time officially today at the end of lap 12. Well, here's Lane Sanders saying, okay, pal, you've had your turn. Now I want to take back what's mine. He goes to the low side of DeLello to make the pass for the lead on lap 14. Sanders' lone win last season was here at Daytona, and he used that to carry momentum enough to finish 7th in the points, tying with Lucas Catano for that position. But he and that domino scheme, they have a fresh new look that they'd love to take back to victory lane again. Is he going to have enough to edge out DeLello at the line? Nose to nose, that's a razor-thin margin right there. Perhaps we may see that on the final lap. You may have to stick around and find out for sure. Going through the mid-pack, Scott Roush is here, Harrison Riley, Luke Martin in his new sponsor of M&M's. He was able to break into the top 5 once and hasn't really found the opportunity to slide back down to the bottom and climb up again. He's been stuck in this middle spot here. He's got drafting help from his teammate, the rookie out of Georgia, Noah Hart. Anthony McClure in the number 7 Dodge for Monster Motorsports. He's doing a good job hanging with the lead draft. Same thing with rookie Alexander Rowe, the Daytona Beach, Florida native. He'd like to have a good debut finish here today in this number 14 ARC Racing Dodge. James Ellison, he got 6th here last season. Wants to have another good top 10 run today. But drifting back from the pack a little is Ryan Griffin in the 71, who's running 27th. Looks like it's a pack of 27 cars here fighting for this overall lead, but Griffin better be careful and not lose touch with Allison and company. Rookie DJ Curtis, he's also lost the lead draft as well in that Camping World Dodge. The newcomer out of Kansas City, Missouri, he'll probably fall into the clutches of this secondary pack, being led by the 19 of Kyle Collins. DJ Curtis's teammate of Nick Breeding is also involved in this skirmish. Roberto Crown Jr., Justin Henley, Brian Grigsby, Shade Eves, and others. And behind this pack, Lee Smith, he's running by himself in that 04 Eclipse Group car in 39th. And then this little trio of Yepes, Downey, and Orman, rounding out all the cars in the field. TJ Smith and RJ Bishop, they've both paired up to get around the 87, and now it's the driver of the 24 out in front of the field at Daytona. TJ Smith in the lead at a super speedway. We've definitely seen that film before. His first career win came at Talladega at round 11 last season. In a good dominating victory that was for him. But the New Jersey driver, he's got tough company in the form of Charles Sanford. And there goes Christian Vargas in the 81, going way down low. Getting a little bit gutsy is that 81 Circuit City car of Christian Vargas. He had the number 1 last season for the Spa team. Now he's switched over to the 81, and he's found his way up into second. Here's a driver making good waves, is the 66 of Yoshiko Sakamoto, the go-or-go-home driver for the JSR group, as Christian Vargas makes the move for the lead ahead. But Sakamoto in another new ride for herself, as Stanford pushes that 81 of Vargas out to the lead. As Vargas' best finish last season was 3rd, and that also came at Talladega in the race where TJ Smith won. And the 81's going to shut the door on the 16, and it's now Vargas' turn to be out front. Looking back at the secondary pack, fighting for 28th, Kyle Collins, metaphorically serving as the mama duck, leading the pack of little ducklings through the first and second corners. But it is a bummer that Collins is stuck racing back here. And he is with a team that's capable of giving him top 10 cars on a consistent basis. But with him getting in that crash in Duel 2, you can really only do so much with the card you're dealt. And hang on, people, we're going 4 wide back here. Yes, Breeding, Curtis, Grigsby, and Fox. That's super tight. That's really tight. Oh no, the 34 is going to get spun by the 70. Saber Fox noses into the wall on the inside of turn 4. Saber Fox out of Kansas in the Dude Wipe Chevy Impala goes around off the nose of Justin Henley as they were racing 4 wide. But the SRS officials never threw the yellow for that. That's surprising. But Saber's slowly getting back up to speed. Here comes Lee Smith. Oh, look out, Lee Smith! Whoa, my goodness, what a near miss. And a lucky near miss by Lee Smith and Saber Fox. That very well could have been a repeat of Duel 2 with Yepes and Collins. But thankfully that didn't end in a tragic way. But nonetheless, the 04 and the 34, both their days are going to go down the drain. Unfortunately for Justin Henley, the contact that he had with the 34 Fox has cost him the ability to keep up with the pack ahead of him. They're all the way out of turn 2, and he's just going through turn 2. He's faded all the way down to 37th. How about Saber Fox? There's Fox, but there's the whole pack of leaders bearing right down on that 34 Chevy. Robinson and Bilson, and potentially Freeze. Look at this, a 3-wide mess heading for that 34 car. Watch out, Saber. What will be the right lane to go in? The 34 goes up high, cutting off the 84. Looks like Vince Freeze might have the room underneath. Back to the lead again goes the DeWalt 4, but here comes Luke Martin, making his way back up to the front of the pack, getting help from the 35 of rookie Austin Montgomery. Martin, your defending Season 1 champion, picking up a win at Rockingham last season and beating Charles Sanford in the championship by just 4 points if you were at the finale at Atlanta to watch that. Martin's holding everyone up in the position that he loves to be in the most, as Montgomery didn't have enough room to slide in front of the 03 of Ryan Dagby. Dagby's going to get to the inside of his S3 Motorsports teammate. And they got more cars up ahead of the 77, the 17, the 6, and the 04 of Lee Smith. Vargas back to the point. Mayhew in second. Mayhew, like a lot of rookies here, this is his first Speed Racing Series start. Just like it is for Montgomery, Pericles, Robinson, Hart, Rowe back there. But it's good that these rookies are getting the seat time that they are today, because that's how they learn and become better race car drivers. And it's safe to say that the 4 cars right here have been caught. Where can Vargas go? What will he do? Is he going to have enough time to pass Gatlin Downey? No, he will not. He gets cut off by the 6th. That's going to bring everybody back to him. That's just what everyone behind him wants to see, as the leader gets slowed down by lap traffic. Is Dagby going to do anything? No, Vargas is opportunistic. He gets to the inside of Downey. At the end of lap 30, Vargas is still your leader. Vargas gets by Lee Smith. Now it's his turn to run down Nathan Norman and Diego Yepes. Vargas up high, but I don't know if that was a smart choice. Dagby to the inside in the Dollar General Chevy. Vargas going up the middle, trying to go underneath Nathan Norman. Oh, and this is going to be close. Another episode of 4 wide. Oh man, this didn't end well last time we saw this, but thankfully they all split up. Nobody goes around, no harm done. And Ryan Dagby and Charles Sanford now emerge with the top 2 spots. Charles Sanford better watch out, because he has a big black and orange wave hurling right towards him. Those 3 black and orange cars you see of Noah Hart, Nick Pericles, and Lucas Catano, all sporting those colors today here at Daytona. And interestingly enough, they're all driving Ford Fusions too. So that's another interesting point. Hart and Pericles, the 2 rookies. Catano, the 2-time series winner. Pericles to the low side of Hart. He's going to kick the 18 up high. Pericles having the most laps led on today, at least over 10. How about the fastest lap? Who's got that? Lucas Catano with a 45.290. So just like on pole day, Catano in that 20 car. Also fast on race day too. So Catano, oh my gosh, in turn 3, they're going 4 wide again. This is unbelievable. Vargas, TJ Smith, Harrison Riley is going to slide a bit in the 81. Look at him get loose. Oh, this does not look promising. Hopefully they can keep it together. Vargas saves it. The 81 and the 12 with a magnificent save through the tri-oval. I can't believe that just happened. They all avoided incident. Good job to both the 12 and the 81 for saving those wackadoo race cars. They really got squirrely and came close to wrecking, but thankfully everyone's okay and still going along. Going back up here, Pericles to the inside of Stanford for the lead. Don't forget, pit stops should be looming pretty soon as well. And just like that right there, a couple of them do duck for pit road. James Ellison and Austin Montgomery. As you see all the dust kicked up from Vargas and Riley nearly losing it. At the end of lap 34, Ellison and Montgomery are your first 2 takers for the pits. Approaching the end of lap 35, will we see more people make a pit stop? Yep, you betcha. Sanford, Robinson, Catano, Dagby, DeLello, and more. Oh, contact back there, I see. Oh no, Zachary Fitzwater! He gets hit by his teammate! And RJ Bishop is also collected! Another shocking twist in this race. The 2 Nova Sport teammates of Aiden Smith and Zachary Fitzwater. They both collide going on a very congested pit road, and they innocently take RJ Bishop with them. And look at that, those 2 team cars, they're going to have some bruises on them. Smith is actually going to park the 68. He has too much damage to continue. Aiden Smith is out of this race. He'll be the first one out too in 42nd. Nobody else is retired. but that's a mega bad break for Aiden Smith. He looked to have a promising day going, but now he and his teammate Fitzwater, they are in shambles. More of the leaders come down for pit road on lap 36. Here's your champion, Luke Martin, your pole sitter, Zachary Bilson, Dylan Young, and also the lap car of Nathan Orman. He tags along with these three. RJ Bishop pulling away. After getting damage in the Fitzwater and Smith collision, he's salvaging what he can out of a lost day. But I want to take a look at how the pole sitter does during pit stops. The 13 of Bilson, he's been real quick all day. Oh no, Fitzwater! He's going to collide with Bilson just as he leaves pit road. What the heck? Now your pole sitter's got damage, and now he's parked in his pit stall. Man, believe me, fans, I'm just as shocked as you are watching this. Bilson gets hit by Zachary Fitzwater right as Fitzwater's done making repairs. And there sits Zachary Bilson. He was just trying to go for a routine stop, and now that is all ruined. And look at how much time he's losing and how much progress he's losing. That's a real tough break. He may not win today, but I know Bilson, he'll be a contender to win more races in the future at least. This first cycle of green flag stops is on the verge of wrapping up. Looking at James Ellison in the number 3 Crossroads Chevy. He left for pit road first along with the 35 of Montgomery. He crossed the line 15th last time, and Vince Freeze right there, he led the previous lap, but he's going to lose time to Ellison on the track. Brandon Mayhew's ahead, Ryan Dagby, Major Robinson, Nick Pericles, and Charles Sanford. Zachary Fitzwater way up ahead of them. But I think this might be your new leader, the McDonald Chevy of Charles Sanford. We'll wait to see what scoring says. And we are correct. Sanford, your leader, over Major Robinson, who wants to go for the lead right there. Side by side with the 16, Major Robinson is eager to get back in the lead again. Nick Pericles is also here. Brandon Mayhew, Ryan Dagby, the top 5, and James Ellison in his own little area code in 6th. But these 5 cars that you see on your screen, that very well could be the top 5 best contenders that have a shot of pulling away from everybody. Everything has officially cycled out, so why don't we take a look at the full field rundown as we're 41 laps complete. Your top 5. Major Robinson, Charles Sanford, Nick Pericles, Ryan Dagby, Brandon Mayhew having a little bit of difficulty getting by the 59. 6th place, Luke Martin has taken that. Away from James Ellison, Dylan Young in 7th, Ellison down to 8th. And 9th place, you got this little scramble of cars right here with Freeze, Roush, Montgomery, TJ Smith, Hart, DeLello, and Catano, who is in 15th. 16th place, Alexander Rowe, doing a nice job keeping all 4 corners of his car clean. He's in 16th, though, and he'll probably get eaten alive by this little pack right here of Strigley, Vargas, Sakamoto, Yepes, who's multiple laps down, Lane Sanders, he's fallen quite a distance back, too. So that's going to be hard for Sanders to make up time to the leaders. Harrison Riley and also Anthony McClure right outside the top 20 and 22nd. 23rd, Kyle Collins. 24th, DJ Curtis. Glenn Mixon, 25th, just following the 19 and the 99. 26th, you got a battle between Ryan Griffin, Nick Breeding, Jesse Perner, Cam Cole, Roberto Crown Jr., these 5 cars. Nice job to the 78 of Cole and the 23 of Crown Jr. Even though their days have been quiet, they've been productive, and they're still logging important lap here at Daytona for both their first ever starts. Roberto Crown Jr. in 30th, Shade Eves 31st, and Brian Grigsby out of Tennessee running 32nd, last car on the lead lap. Zachary Bilson has rejoined the race in his Sherwin-Williams Camry. His team was able to fix that car and put him back out on the track, but unfortunately, his result today isn't going to be telling of how he truly ran today. He's 41st, 5 laps down. the last car running in the race ahead of Aiden Smith, who retired his race with the damage he sustained on pit road. Here's a hot little pack for 6th, being held by the UPS Chevy of Austin Montgomery, TJ Smith, Zachary DeLello, James Ellison, and Lucas Catano up here. You also got Dylan Young, Vince Fries, Scott Roush, and Noah Hart also being a part of this draft. 50 nifty laps are on the board here at Daytona. And just like he led the first lap, Major Robinson is going to get that coveted honor of leading at the halfway point of this Daytona 250. And yo, how about this? If you're an Alabaman currently watching this race, Major Robinson and Brandon Mayhew have taken your state to the top 2 positions in the race. Nice job by Robinson and Mayhew getting that done for the state. How about Lane Sanders, the proud winner last year? He's stuck back here fighting for 16th with Harrison Riley and Joseph Strigley right ahead of him. Don't forget Sanders and Robinson, they are cousins. Both hailing from Alabama and going to Talladega Superspeedway, all growing up. But Sanders not so fortunate to be up racing in the top 5 like Robinson and Mayhew are. But Sanders is still plugging away, and hey, perhaps Robinson and Mayhew, they could get lucky and also get a second straight Alabama victory here for Daytona. Oh no, Diego Yepes, he's got a tire going down on that 77. In front of 6 of those cars. Thankfully, they all get around him, but Diego Yepes, his bad day here at Daytona goes to worse. And unfortunately, this about sums up the entire Daytona weekend for Yepes. Not qualifying so hot on pole day, and then that controversial accident that he was in duel 2, and now these problems have arisen for the driver of the 77 of Monster Motorsports. They're going to put a new set of tires on, and maybe they'll get Yepes back out there. Oh, they actually don't. Yepes, he's gone to the garage. So Yepes with terminal tire problems here on lap 54, and he is also out of this race along with Aiden Smith. Well, the pack that Yepes was riding along with, his tire problems has split that up tremendously. It's just the 12, the 06, and the 87 that have gotten away clean. But Vargas in the 81, Sakamoto in the 66, Rowe in the 14, McLaren the 7, they've dropped back quite a ways, with Yepes having those problems directly in front of him. You can also count Henley and Orman trying to tag along with these drivers here. But we'll just find out if this pack is able to group together in a matter of time. Fast forward to lap 61, Nick Pericles is still able to get a snip of that draft off of these 6 cars ahead of him, with the lap machines of Bilson and Eves also here. Pericles, he's got a lot of power underneath that 31 Ford. Rambler Racing has given him a good car, and he's utilized it to good use this weekend. And here's the second pack. They've kept their margin just underneath 4 seconds. What's going to read this time? They do shave a 10th off of the overall lead that Dagby has. Dagby is the lone S3 car in the top 5. Montgomery and TJ Smith are also up here. And the 06 of Joseph Strigley, he's just struggling to even fight for a top 16 way back in the back. But it'll mostly depend on when and where these leaders catch lap cars, just like this right here. Gatlin Downey and Roberto Crown Jr., the leaders have run up on those 2. So it's little things like that that can take away time for the second pack. And yes, right there, that's the saving grace that Nick Pericles wanted. He is back in the mix with the top 4. Ryan Dagby rapidly catching the 38 of RJ Bishop. He's got to swerve around the outside, and that did cut his speed down a little bit. He's only piloting 187 at 188 out of turn 4. And check that out, pack number 2. They are within vision. Montgomery goes over the line. Let's see what the deficit is now. 2.5 seconds. That pack is coming. So that top 5, they better figure out a game plan and not keep lollygagging with this lap traffic. Dagby and Mayhew, looks like they've got the best, cleanest possibility out of all those guys right now. Sanford in 3rd, Robinson in 4th, and here's Pericles trying to get around the Harmon Benning-Peterson driver of Gatlin Downey. And here comes these other drivers: Montgomery, Martin, TJ Smith, Hart, Roush. Everybody else. They got RJ Bishop to negotiate around, but the space that they had previously has now shrank so much over these last couple laps, and they'll get him for sure. It'll just be a matter of when they do. You know, this bloke, Zachary Fitzwater, he's always outspoken throughout the garage about how much he despises lap cars at super speedways. Well, guess what? He gets to become the very thing he despises the most. Fitzwater in the way of Robinson, Dagby, and the rest of the top 5. He is right in the 84's path. He's up on the high side. Now he's on the low side to cut off the 03. Now he drifts up high and provides a lane for Dagby to go by, but there's that second pack. 197 to 189. Oh yeah, they're going to run them down this lap, guaranteed. So all that hard work is starting to finally pay off for Pack 2. Instead of a 5-horse race, it's going to be a 15-horse race in pursuit of the win. Montgomery just sneaks underneath the 16 of Sanford. He says, "Hello, can you provide some room for me? Thank you." Montgomery shoots into 4th place, excuse me. And a couple takers right there on lap 68. Lucas Catano, Dylan Young. They said, screw this. Why don't we jazz up our strategy in Duffer Pit Road? Everybody can make it the rest of the way on fuel. So Catano and Young choose to do so on lap 69. Top off their tanks and go the rest of the distance. Most of the leaders not coming down pit road this time. Dagby in the lead. Lap 70 on the board. Going to the outside of Lee Smith, who puts him in the wall. Lee Smith squeezes the 03 of Dagby into the outside wall. That's going to get the right side of that Chevy scratched up. Thankfully, it didn't turn out to be a big wreck, but boy, oh boy, Ryan Dagby, one of the fastest cars here, gets shoved into the wall by the 04. I don't know if the 04 spotter knew he was coming that rapidly. But dang, hopefully this won't make Dagby spend more time on pit road than he has to. But we'll just have to find out real soon. I think some people are signaling to pit road right here. Yes, DeLello's coming down to pit road in the 15. All by himself on lap 70. Anyone else going to come down pit road behind him? No. There's Catano and Dylan Young, who we saw pit just a couple laps ago. But it's now Zachary DeLello's turn to go solo on pit road. More people going to pit road on lap 71. Martin, Ellison, Dagby, and Ryan Dagby's new best friend, Lee Smith, giving him a good introduction coming out of the tri-oval and into the outside wall. From this angle, it doesn't look like the damage is all that severe on the 03, on the right side of that car. But the crew's going to go to work on it. Hopefully they get to work on it fast. Glenn Nixon pulls away. DJ Curtis pulls away in a Camping World car. Sabre Fox. Here's this quartet of cars. They probably came down to pit road too. So Riley, Strigley, Sakamoto, and Sanders, they must have came down pit road. Christian Vargas has. How about this lap? Yep, a lot more drivers are doing so now. Robinson, Hart, Smith, Freeze, Mayhew, Roush, and Sanford on lap 72. Here comes Pericles and Montgomery on the pit road on lap 73. They are the final duo of leaders yet to make a pit stop. They got Shade Eves with them, although he's one lap down. Breeding in the pits, but they are both in. We'll have to see where they cycle out when they're done with their stops. Oh no, problems for Austin Montgomery in the 35. He's slowly traveling his way around 3 and 4. Being told it's a flat tire. on that UPS Chevy of Austin Montgomery, the Texan driver. And that's quite bizarre considering he just left pit road. He was trying to follow Nick Pericles out of the pits, but he probably ran something over and that tire is cut down. And unfortunately, his good run has now been soiled. Executing on another solid pit stop is Nick Pericles, because his 31 team has given him the lead after pit stops again. Resetting the order for you on lap 76, it's Pericles with the lead, followed by TJ Smith, Noah Hart, Major Robinson, Brandon Mayhew in 5th, followed by Luke Martin, Scott Roush, Zachary DeLello, Charles Sanford, and James Ellison is your official top 10 lead lap cars after this pit cycle, which should be the final one of the day. And poor Austin Montgomery, he's tasting the agony of defeat now. He definitely had a car capable of running with the top 10 and contending for a finish that high. But that mysterious flat tire is going to drop him back to a poorer result. Behind Montgomery is Vince Freeze, riding all alone out of turn 4 in the 21. And then in 12th place, the leader of this second pack is Harrison Riley, who also has Sakamoto, Kitano, Vargas up here. Here's the 03 of Ryan Dagby. His crew had to spend a little bit extra time on pit road to clean up the right side of that Impala. But Dagby's away in the second pack. That also contains Standers, Dylan Young, and Joseph Srigley as well. The leaders all ride in a single file train on the inside of the track. And right there, Noah Hart in the 18 wants to derail from it. Down to the inside of Pericles he goes in that JBL machine. Speaking loud volumes for his debut today. No pun intended. But he's got boss man Luke Martin in the 54 trying his best to help him out. Martin Motorsports did accomplish the first ever 1-2 finish for a race in series history. That happened out at Charlotte. Lucas Catano getting the win, Luke Martin getting second. Martin's going to go 3 wide and put his rookie teammate in the middle lane. TJ Smith also in contention here, pushing that 54. Take a look at the helicopter cam. This is a nice shot. The top 10 utilizing as much space on the track as they can. From the 54 of Martin to the 3 of Ellison. Any of these contenders can walk away with the big trophy. And definitely leave Daytona feeling very happy. The 50 of Scott Roush now gets to have his turn showing the way here on the high banks of Daytona. But you see right there the next 2 targets for this top 10 to put a lap down. Cam Cole in the 78, DJ Curtis in the 99. Battling for 26 together on the track. Roush looks like he's going to signal that he's going to go to the bottom of the 78, and he will barely do that. Cam Cole thankfully had enough awareness to let him go by. Both the 78 and the 99 also on debut this afternoon. DJ Curtis and Cam Cole. Curtis up to the outside. He's going to let the leaders have a fair race for the win. But from one Ford leading goes to another Ford leading. Luke Martin retakes the lead from the 50 of Roush. Very few places can provide this kind of exciting racing like Daytona can. 3 wide, battling for the top position and for a shot at this coveted win in this crown jewel race. Zachary DeLello now your new leader in the 15. How about this on the inside? James Ellison. He hasn't shown his face at the front of the field all afternoon long. And now the Hoosier driver has a chance of getting success at Daytona. Last season, he ended up with a 6th place finish, which was astounding considering that Crossroads Racing was just a startup team. But Ellison, he's got good company behind him. Well, he had good company behind him pushing him in the form of the 31 of Pericles. But Pericles, he's got his own plans to execute on. But Ellison, with enough help from the top, he's going to chop the 31 off. And Ellison, it'd be a miracle if he can just even get another top 10, let alone battle for the win. But Ellison definitely outperforming expectations once again in his Crossroads Racing Chevy, but he will lose the runner-up position to Pericles. DeLello has been able to hold everyone off for the last couple of laps, but he can't get too comfortable as we have another bunch of lap traffic ahead. Lee Smith in the 04, who wasn't as friendly to the leaders the last time they drove around him. And Nick Pericles is going to jump on the opportunity. Down to the inside of the 15 he goes. But Smith is going to cut him off right there as they go into 3. He's going to get slowed down. Lee Smith, the South Carolina driver for the brand new team, the Eclipse Group, getting a rough welcome to SRS competition for sure. He's gotten into a couple bits of contact with some people today. And look at that, he's swerving across every lane. Now he's holding up both the middle and the outside lines. That's going to let the 15 sail away. DeLello's going to have a little bit of breathing room, at least for now, as he catches up to the 34, Sabre Fox. It's now the 54 and the 3, as well as the 16 trying to catch DeLello now. Sanford's going to put Ellison up into the undesirable spot on the high side of the track. DeLello clears Sabre Fox. His next 2 targets, he's got a bunch of them. Ryan Griffin, Alexander Rowe, RJ Bishop, Justin Henley, Nick Breeding, Jesse Turner, and Kyle Collins, who are all most of them are in a fight for 21st. So that's the next group of guys that DeLello is going to catch up to. Zachary DeLello now trying to pass the hometown boy, Alexander Rowe, to put him 1 lap off the pace, running in 25th. Now it'll be Luke Martin's turn to do the same. But he can't quite get around him as easy. Oh, but now Rowe's going to move up high, and that's a courteous move by a Rowe to do that for Luke Martin. Oh, DeLello, wow, what a charge! Down into turn 3 on Justin Henley. Another major scare for Henley. He's the one who turned Sabre Fox on lap 21. And then on lap 90, he nearly gets turned himself. Kind of funny how that comes back around. But DeLello is by. Henley is still pointed in the right direction. Now Nick Breeding in the Permatex machine. He falls 1 lap down to DeLello. Now DeLello's only target left, Kyle Collins. Collins does deserve credit for being able to be on the lead lap for this long all day, considering he had to go to a backup car and start at the tail of the field. Collins is going to move up, and that will now leave us just 20 cars on the lead lap. Going back up to Anthony McClure here in 20th, running with the 17 and the 75. Jesse Turner in the 94. He puts his U.S. Air Force car up a lane to make a way for Charles Sanford and Luke Martin to go by. Oh, check this out. 4 wide again, ladies and gentlemen. Onto the backstretch. Henley, Breeding, Griffin, and Ellison. We got to take a look at this from the helicopter viewpoint. You need to be as careful as you can in times like this. One slip can cause chaos and destruction, and you'll be the one to blame. Thankfully, everyone's going to sort things out, and will remain clean for even longer now. Although it's still tight racing up here with these guys running 3x3 each. On back there, you see the 11 of Brandon Mayhew. He probably got crossed up trying to get by lap traffic, and Mayhew has lost touch with the top 9 cars now. Yeah, so unless nothing drastic changes, Mayhew might have to settle for a 10th place finish, which still ain't bad for his first time out. Of course, he'd like to be racing there with the win, but unfortunately, Mayhew's not as lucky. We are now at the point of the race where you got to start timing your moves the best way you can. And right there, the 54 and the 16 strike. They both go underneath the 15, but who's going to have the edge going into 3? It is going to go to Sanford. Sanford with the low side move. Now the 15 gets pushed up high. Sanford and Martin now side by side for the lead here at Daytona. Martin gets the edge with that line. We are getting down to the nitty-gritty here, people. How's this for a role reversal? DeLello now does the same move that Sanford and Martin made on him a lap ago, and he puts them on the outside. All but he washes up the track a little. Thankfully, Kyle Collins in the 19 was wise enough to back off of him and not make contact. DeLello back to the lead now with just 5 laps to go into Daytona 250. We're going to keep eyes on this battle for the lead the rest of the way through. You're not going to miss a thing, folks. Sanford stuck up top with the lap machine of Kyle Collins to his inside. Collins running 21st. He's also fighting for that position with Griffin and Turner right there. And also Shade Eves. Eves has recovered pretty well also. Sanford was able to get by the 19. Now the 31 of Pericles looks to do the same. 4 more times around this noteworthy super speedway. So much history of racing has happened here throughout the decades. And now that the Speed Racing Series has taken turn, they're definitely doing a good job leaving their mark, these drivers, and making part of a possible historic finish. Oh, way up there you see, oh wow, look at this cluster of race cars. And honestly, they're not really running as fast as the leaders are. Hopefully we won't have to encounter them by the time the white flag flies. Gatlin Downey, Glenn Nixon, Anthony McClure, Nathan Orman, Brian Grigsby, and Zachary Fitzwater, who has plenty of damage on that 59. But only time will tell. We'll cross our fingers that we won't approach them. 3 to go now at the line. DeLello still your leader. Here's the blue Summit car of Scott Roush, getting jittery and going down to the inside, helping out Sanford in the 16. And you can't help but feel a little bit of nervousness seeing this cluster of lap cars ahead. Maybe we'll get to him, maybe we won't. Coming around for 2 to go, DeLello, he's been able to hold these guys off now. But Sanford in the McDonald's machine. Both DeLello and Sanford were in contention for the win last season before they got out-dueled by Lane Sanders. Pericles trying to make a late charge from the 3rd position. Sanford's got enough strength. He's gonna go down to the inside of DeLello. Sanford. He's got to run. He's nosing ahead of the 15 by the time they exit turn 2. These leaders going around 194, 195. This pack ahead of them is only going 192. Hold your breath, ladies and gentlemen. This finish will be like no other. The 16 and the 15 side by side. You also got Scott Roush and Nick Pericles in the mix. But time is rapidly ticking away. If you have any moves left to make, you got to make them now. White flag is waving from Daytona. DeLello leads by a car length and a half. That pack of lapped cars is in view, but I don't believe they'll catch him. We will have a fair race for the win on our hands. Down the backstretch, Charles Sanford searching low and high for any momentum he can find. He jumps up in front of the 31. How much help will he get? Going into turn 3, Sanford trying his best to close in on the 15. Can he steal the lead from DeLello in time? One last shot out of turn 4. He's not going to get there. Redemption from last season will find Zachary DeLello today. There's the finish. Zachary DeLello has won the Daytona 250 to kick off season 2. That is career win number 2 for the driver out of North Carolina. Zachary DeLello gets it done for Dr. Pepper, Pole Position Racing, and Toyota. they get it done on the series' biggest stage, Daytona International Speedway. And he'll be shouting loud and proud as the season's first winner. He drove a smart race all day long, played his cards right, had a fast car too. Can't take any credit away from that. But that right there is how you utilize a good car, a good team, and just good brains behind the wheel to create a perfect race such as this. And that is exactly what DeLello did. But we saw as the cars were strolling to the finish line, we did see a big cloud of dust appear on the front stretch. We're going to have to take a look at that and see how that formed. We missed it live, but the reason for that dust cloud being kicked up on the front stretch was because of Joseph Srigley, who right there loses the engine in his 06 car right as he was about to take the white flag. He crossed the line in 15th that time, but unfortunately that's nowhere near where he's going to end up finishing in the final results. So that's a painful way to end his first start with S3 Motorsports. But we'll go up ahead to the finish again. As there's Charles Sanford, he gets help from Nick Pericles as they go into turn 3, but it wasn't enough. He tried to draft his way up to the 15, but then Pericles ducks down to the inside, and that was all she wrote. Zachary DeLello seals the deal for his second ever win in the Speed Racing Series. But all these drivers in the top 10 still deserve all the props they get. Sanford in second, Pericles in third, the highest finishing rookie. Luke Martin continues his championship defense with a 4th place finish today. Scott Roush, a good run for him in that 50 Summit Ford. TJ Smith in 6th, another good successful Daytona run, or Super Speedway run I should say. 7th, James Ellison, 2 consecutive Daytona top 10s for him. Major Robinson, the winner of Duel 1, he finishes 8th. Noah Hart in the 18 comes home 9th. And then 10th place back here, trapped with this pack of slow cars, was Brandon Mayhew in the Joseph Srigley 11. But DeLello will be merrily spraying all the Dr. Pepper he can down in victory lane onto his team. They all learned it today, and he will be the driver with the points lead and with the most amount of strength on his side as we go to the second round of the season out at Phoenix. So there you have it, everybody. The season opening Daytona 250 is officially wrapped up. The race had plenty of exciting and jaw-dropping moments. It was an exciting duel to the end for victory with a very deserving winner. And if you folks weren't satisfied with that, I honestly don't know what to say. But I can assure you, this will just be a precursor to what the rest of the season can offer for you. One final time, thank you so much for tuning into today's exciting race. Your race results and your point standings will be coming up soon. And we hope to catch you folks again when we head out west, when we race at Phoenix Raceway for round number 2. And congratulations to the grand winner of the Daytona 250, Zachary DeLello. See you, everyone.